Hello everyone, it's Sandra, and I've been busy using up a lot of skincare since we last talked, and it is time for an empties and new products video. Today we're mainly talking about skincare. We've got cleansers, serums, moisturizers, sunscreens, and kind of basically go over what I'm currently using instead of the empty product. Without further ado, let's start in order of application. So we're going to start with makeup removal. This will be an easy one. It's a direct empty and repurchase. It's my favorite eye makeup remover, and it's the La Roche-Posay Respectissime waterproof eye makeup remover. I really like this because it takes off all eye makeup and it doesn't leave my eye area feeling greasy, irritated, or with cloudy vision, which is great. Now for cleansers, I like to play around. Cleansing is my favorite skincare step, so I'm always up for trying a new cleanser, and I would say it's the skincare category where I'm kind of flip-flopping the most. I'm not very loyal to one cleanser that I keep repurchasing over and over and over again. I like to kind of jump around. I do have some favorites, but it is an area where I like to play, and I also like to have a few different cleansers on rotation for different reasons. This is the Clarins Remove Purifying Cleansing Gel. This was nice, nothing to really write home about. It was slightly foaming, but not too stripping. It's definitely more of a summer cleanser for me. It's a cleanser that would be definitely more suitable for somebody that's combination on the oily side. I think if you're somebody with drier skin and you use this every single day, this can get a little bit too drying. But it was nice. I did enjoy the scent of it. It had a really beautiful moringa scent, which was especially refreshing in the morning. My husband also really enjoyed this cleanser. The next cleanser we have is the PCA Skin BPO 5% cleanser. This is a 5% benzoyl peroxide cleanser that is geared towards acne-prone skin. This did not work for me. It was very strong. Every single time I used this to cleanse my skin, I was left really irritated. Again, this is a cleanser that my husband enjoyed when he had a breakout. He doesn't break out often, but when he does, it's just kind of like all over his face. And this stuff just totally kept it under control and it made it go away within a week. So maybe depends on the types of breakouts. It did work on any random breakouts that I would get either on my shoulders or on my chest. The next cleanser that I used up is the Derma E Anti-Wrinkle Cleanser. This is a Glycolic Vitamin A cleanser. It's a gel cleanser, and it does foam a tiny little bit. Again, very strong. This is not the type of cleanser that I would use every single day. This is the type of cleanser that I would leave in the shower and I would use maybe 2-3 times a week. If you're somebody that really likes acid products and you're a big fan of acid cleansers, this will be a good one to try because it is quite strong and it does deliver. For me, I like having something like this in my rotation, but just not for everyday use. Next up, we have the Pestle and Mortar Renew Illuminating Gel Cleanser. This was a very beautiful cleanser and I loved the texture of it. This is one of my favorite types of cleanser formulas. It is a gel cleanser that turns into an oil when you're massaging it on dry skin, and then you emulsify with water, gets a little bit milky, and you can either just rinse it off with water or use a wet washcloth to facilitate the removal of the cleanser off your skin. It didn't have a scent that I noticed, and I love the packaging. This is so cool. I love it when companies do that. You just push down and the gel comes out from the top. The only downside is that it is expensive and you go through it quite quickly. The next two cleansers that I used up, I clearly enjoyed very much because I cut them open to make sure I got every single last drop. This is always a good sign. And I would repurchase both of these in a heartbeat. I'm actually waiting. Maybe there's going to be a Black Friday sale of some sort. And if there is, I will definitely be repurchasing these ASAP because Jordan Samuel Skin is one of my favorite skincare brands. I love his products. I've been talking about them ever since I discovered the brand maybe 2 years ago. The After Show Treatment Cleanser is the first product I ever tried from this brand, and it's a product that I've recommended to all my friends. My friend Dina also buys it and uses it. She actually likes the sensitive skin formula. They have a sensitive skin formula that has absolutely zero scent to it, and there's no plant enzymes in it, whereas this one has a little bit of like a papaya enzyme action, so you can kind of leave it on your face as a mask, and it also doubles a little bit as an exfoliating mask. I love this. It smells so good, and this reminds me of the Pestle and Mortar cleanser, except that this doesn't rinse off clean with water. You do need a washcloth. Then the Matinee gel cleanser is a water-based gel cleanser. This does rinse off clean with water. This is an excellent morning cleanser. Dare I say it's the perfect morning cleanser. It's a gel cleanser, rinses off with water, absolutely no scent whatsoever, no foaming whatsoever, and it has a little bit of salicylic acid in it. So if you're somebody that is prone to breakouts, you're prone to congested skin like I am, this will be an excellent choice. And it's very gentle and not irritating whatsoever. So love those, would repurchase in a heartbeat, and I will definitely be buying them again in the next couple of months. In terms of what I'm currently using, this is my current cleansing routine. I have the Avene Gentle Milk Cleanser, which I talked about in my last favorites video. I am getting too close to the bottom of this. This is really nice because it's very gentle. It does a nice job at removing makeup. It feels really nice and nourishing on my skin. I can use this morning and night if my skin is feeling a bit tender, and I've really been enjoying it. So mostly I use this in the evening, but I use it in the morning if I'm having a sensitive skin day. On every other morning, if my skin is just being normal, I will use this. This is the Ren Clay Cleanser. Ren Clarifying Clay Cleanser from their Clear Calm range. Oh my God, that was quite the tongue twister, but this is lovely, and I received this from the brand, but I actually bought it with my own money before too. So it's a cleanser that I've had experience with and that I do really enjoy. It's, again, completely non-foaming. This has a creamy texture to it, but it does contain some clay in it, which helps draw out impurities. But it's a beautiful cleanser, and again, this is a great product to try if you are somebody that struggles from breakouts, from congested pores, but you don't want to go the traditional route with a acid gel slightly foaming cleanser. You want something a little bit more gentle. This would be a great product to try. Then to have one strong acid exfoliating option in my stash, I do have this. This is the Dr. Loretta Micro Exfoliating Cleanser. This is a 2% salicylic acid gel cleanser. It's non-foaming, no fragrance whatsoever. But this is strong. This is the strongest salicylic acid cleanser that I've tried, and I've tried 2% salicylic acid cleansers before. You can also use it as a leave-on treatment. I like to use this just as a spot treatment if I have a breakout on my chin. This is usually on my chin, and my jawline is usually where I tend to break out. So that's usually where I will apply this cleanser just for a bit of a treatment. But I tried to use this as my morning cleanse for a couple of weeks, and my skin just was like raw and peeling. So tread carefully with this. For me, it was very strong, but it is a nice product to have in my arsenal. This also works really, really well on razor bumps. So like the packaging too, it's really chic and sleek. So those three are the cleansers that I'm currently using. Let's move on to liquid exfoliation. This is a step that I usually do in the morning after cleansing. I don't do it every morning though. I usually do it maybe every other morning, depending on how my skin is doing. And I have 2 empties of the First Day Beauty Facial Radiance pads. I've been using these for years. This is something that I always revisit, and I still love them. I would still recommend them if you're somebody that's just trying to ease into acid exfoliation. For something a little bit stronger, I have the cult classic Biologique Recherche P50. I have the Pigment 400 version, which is geared towards hyperpigmentation, and I really do enjoy it. I talked about it more at length in my skincare routine video, I believe. I also mentioned it in one of my blog posts, so I will reference those below if you want to hear me talk more about it. But this has a very, very lengthy ingredients list, and I liked having this in my routine paired with a vitamin C serum. It does do a really nice job at tackling hyperpigmentation, so I would repurchase this in the future. I'm not a P50 loyalist to Die Hard by any means, and I just find that in some seasons my skin just tends to be extra sensitive to acid, so I like to tread more carefully, especially now in the fall and winter. Maybe later on towards the end of winter and spring I can introduce a stronger acid, but for now I do like to take it easy, so I haven't repurchased this yet, but I would repurchase in the future. Right now I'm using the Indeed Labs NoAcid pads. These are new. These were sent to me by the brand, and I really, really like them. They are in the similar delivery system as the First Aid Beauty Facial Radiance Pads, but they are completely acid-free. These use probiotics and help stimulate skin cell renewal. I'm really enjoying these so far. I thought that they would do nothing, but they are actually such an excellent product for me right now because, like I mentioned, my skin is not totally loving strong acid exfoliation at the moment. But yeah, this has been very nice. So if you're somebody that's also trying to ease your way into acids again, and you maybe want to start off really gently, I would do this, and then maybe I would graduate to this, and then eventually go to this. Next up, let's talk about some anti-acne solutions that I have used up. And we have the Institut Esthederm Propolis Serum. Propolis does have really nice antibacterial properties. I didn't enjoy the texture of this. This was in an oil type of texture, and the oil just kind of sat tacky on the skin and never actually fully got worked into my skin. So yeah, I didn't love the texture. It was just not refined enough for me, so I would not repurchase this, but the ingredient does work. Another product that I used up that I really loved is the Paula's Choice 10% Azaleic Acid Booster. I started off using it as a spot treatment just on areas where I'm prone to congestion, but then I ended up just using a small amount of it mixed in with my moisturizer, and I would just use it everywhere, and I do miss it. So I am looking forward to repurchasing it at some point, maybe this winter. Again, I'm gonna keep an eye out for a Black Friday Paula's Choice sale code. I'm trying to be more mindful about how much I consume, and I'm trying to really enjoy and use up what I have. I feel like I perpetually complain about how overwhelmed I am with so many products. There's so much skincare, there's so many brands. There's a new brand every day, there's a new release by an old brand every day, and while that's great, I mean, the beauty industry is an extremely lucrative industry to be in, and I like the fact that it creates so many wonderful business opportunities for people. For me, as a consumer and as a beauty lover, I like to take the time and savor what I have without having to feel bad because, oh man, I just bought this beautiful eyeshadow palette and I spent all this money on it, and I'm trying to get creative and to use it, but then, 2 days later, another awesome, majestic eyeshadow palette comes out, and you're like, oh, okay. Nobody's talking about the eyeshadow palette that I just bought, That's kind of how I feel every day. We're talking about skincare. Anyway, yeah, I will definitely repurchase. A product that I actually bought to replace this and that did not work for me is actually this. This is the Epionce Lytic TX, and like the Paula's Choice product, it is an azelaic acid, salicylic acid retexturizing lotion geared towards people that have congested skin, which is me. But this broke me out. I tried to really narrow it down, and I've tried it over the last 5 months. I've tried to make this work, and I've tried to do little tests and see if this is indeed the product that's breaking me out, and it is. So unfortunately, I can't use this. I was talking about this with some of you on Instagram, and you also said that it breaks you out. Apparently, they have a version of this product called Lytic TX Sport that seems to have better results. Maybe this was just a sign telling me that I need to repurchase the Paula's Choice, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it, Then I also used up the Biologique Recherche Derma Pore Serum. This is a serum geared towards tightening dilated pores. This did absolutely nothing for me in terms of helping my dilated pores, helping my pore size, but I did notice that it made my T-zone less oily, but I think that it also could be due to the fact that this has a lot of alcohol in it. So alcohol normally has that effect on one's T-zone, but it's a very short-term effect. In long term, I think it would just dehydrate the skin and kind of make my skin produce more oil to compensate for that. So Dermapore was a no for me, but I do know some people that really love this and they swear by it. So with any brand, any skincare, always take skincare advice with a grain of salt. Everything can work differently on different people. But especially with a brand with a cult following like Biologique Recherche, there's so many wonderful reviews, and there's so many people that are diehard fans of this brand. And when you hear those stories, it's so easy to let your expectations soar, and then you end up trying something and it doesn't work for you and you get a bit disappointed. That's certainly how I felt with this. Next up, I used up the Derma E Very Clear Acne Spot Treatment. This is a 2% salicylic acid spot treatment. This was nice. I like to use this a product like this on my nose and on my chin, the areas where I'm prone to blackheads, because I feel like salicylic acid does a really, really great job at managing blackheads for me. And now I'm using the Ren Non-Drying Acne Treatment Gel. This isn't as strong as the Derma E. This is just 0.5% salicylic acid, but I love the texture of this so much. And this being a lower concentration is super, super, super low irritation. I can just keep applying this on weekends if I'm not wearing makeup or anything, if I'm just doing errands or if I'm just working around the house. I will just reapply this in layers on my nose, and by the end of the day, all my blackheads are dead. I have 4 hyaluronic acid serums that I used up, and I like all of them. They all did a nice job in terms of hydration. I always like to have a hyaluronic acid hydrating serum in my arsenal. I think that it is a product that my skin absolutely loves, just to help boost up that water content, to help keep things nice and firm and plump. And I love hyaluronic acid. It's a serum that I use morning and night. One of my longtime favorites, and one that I have repurchased the most out of all of them. This is the Jordan Samuel Skin Hydrate Facial Serum. This was great, and I would have repurchased this except that it was out of stock for a long time, and he just recently restocked, and it is currently on sale. So you know that I placed an order for it. It hasn't arrived yet, but I will be having this back in my life again soon, and I'm very excited. Next is the PCA Skin Hydrating Serum. In terms of texture and in terms of its effects on my skin, it was very similar to the Jordan Samuel Skin one, except that this also contained a good amount of niacinamide in it as well. So it had a bit of a more complex ingredients list, but I can't say that I noticed better results using this as opposed to using the Jordan Samuel Skin one. And the Jordan Samuel Skin one is cheaper and you get 4 times the product. So that's my only reason for not repurchasing this. I used up the Ren Beauty Shot. This is the Keep Young and Beautiful Beauty Shot. I think this might be discontinued now. I really enjoyed this. This did a beautiful job at hydrating the skin, but the texture was just too sticky and too viscous for my liking. Next is the Jane Iredale Beauty Prep Hyaluronic Acid Serum. This was very nice. I liked it, but again, it wasn't mind-blowing enough for me to run out and repurchase this exact same one. The hyaluronic acid serum that I'm using right now is from Indeed Labs. This is the Indeed Labs Hydration Booster. And like I mentioned, I also repurchased the Jordan Samuel Skin Hydrate Serum. This is very, very, very nice. This has a milky color and it has such a beautiful silky texture to it. It just leaves my skin feeling and looking like silk, and there's no scent to it whatsoever. You can mix this in with other serums. You can mix this in with moisturizer if you want to add in a little boost of hydration. In terms of texture, I prefer the texture of this a tiny bit more than the Jordan Samuel Skin one, but I think that my skin will be happy to have them both. This will be nice as used as a booster, as the name suggests, and the Jordan Samuel Skin will just be kind of like a basic hyaluronic acid serum that I can use morning and night, and I can just like add a couple drops of this whenever I feel extra dehydrated. And then another hyaluronic acid serum that I'm using right now is the Morning Expert Hyaluronic Serum. This is hyaluronic acid and vitamin C together, so this is beautiful. I've actually been mixing them together in the morning and then just using the Indeed Labs Bond by itself at night. But I am really, really enjoying this as well. It has a more gentle derivative of vitamin C. It's not like a pure L-ascorbic acid serum, and I haven't noticed any dramatic difference in terms of my overall skin brightness or anything like that. But you know what? I will take any antioxidant protection that I can get, and I do really enjoy the texture of this. This has this really nice pump and squeeze bottle application, which is great because that ensures you can really, really get to every single last drop. And I'm very much enjoying it. I did use up my traditional vitamin C serum, and I haven't repurchased a separate vitamin C serum yet because I want to just use this up and enjoy it first, and I'm really, really enjoying it. Summertime, I was using the Vivier CE Peptides serum, which is fantastic. It's a 10% L-ascorbic acid and peptide serum. It's very similar to something like SkinCeuticals CE Ferulic or the Drunk Elephant C Firma. I would consider repurchasing this. Maybe next summer. Two other serum empties. I have the Kat Burke Rose Hip Revitalizing Serum. This was another vitamin C antioxidant serum, also contains rosehip seed oil, and this was nice, but honestly, in terms of texture, I prefer the This Works serum that I'm using right now, and this is considerably less expensive than this. This product is the Biologique Recherche Oligoprotein Marine Serum. I used this up over the last winter and spring, and this was a sleeper hit. I was very unimpressed by it. For the first month and a half, I was using it, but I wasn't really seeing any results, so to speak, because this also claims to help with hyperpigmentation, and it also claims to make dark circles disappear. I did notice an improvement in dark circles, and I do like the fact that this is a serum that you can use under the eyes, but I would say this maybe does like a 10 to 15% improvement in dark circles. This ended up really growing on me because in the dead of winter, you know those months in which you think winter is going to end and spring is going to arrive, but it's a lie because, you know, the polar vortex is coming and it's just going to be minus 14 Celsius every single day, and your skin looks really dull and dehydrated and tired. Something about it really, really does help revitalize the skin and give me a glow. So if you're somebody that struggles from really dull, kind of asphyxiated, lackluster looking skin, something like this can be really nice to just kind of bring back the life and give a little bit of extra oomph and glow. So this did a really nice job for that, and I might repurchase it this winter. I might get desperate and buy it again because I really, really loved that effect. That was such a beautiful effect, and again, it did that without being oily or anything. This is just a completely watery serum. It didn't feel like anything was on my skin after. It just gave such a beautiful revitalized look to the skin. The next empty is the NoAcid Copper Amino Isolate Serum, and I love, love, love this product. I was using this consistently for about 2 years, and I stopped because I wanted to try something else. And I will be repurchasing this because I do miss having it in my routine. There's just something that it did in terms of firmness and elasticity and overall skin health that I feel like my skin has just been lacking since I've stopped having this in my routine. Instead, I had purchased the Biologique Recherche Placenta Serum to kind of use it for the same reasons, but now that I've used both for quite a while, they do different things. The Placenta Serum is geared towards people that have skin that's just healing from acne, or if you've had laser or peel or anything like that. It's just supposed to help your skin regenerate, and it has done a really, really nice job at helping my skin recover quicker from a breakout. I actually had some contact dermatitis on my eyelid a few weeks ago, and it was so painful and uncomfortable, and this was the only thing that I could use in that area without any irritation or itchiness or burning. So I really enjoyed this product. I'm glad that I have it. It absolutely stinks. It smells like stinky socks and soy sauce, so it's nasty. It's not a great thing to be putting on your face, but I'm willing to deal with the stinky scent because it actually does what it says. The Copper Amino Isolate Serum also helps with speeding up the healing process, but I feel like the Placenta Serum does a better job at those post-acne red marks. But the NoAcid Copper Amino Isolate Serum did something in terms of just my overall, just the overall tone of my skin just looked better when I was using this. So I'm excited to have both of these in my routine at the same time and see how my skin reacts. If you've made it this long without falling asleep, I commend you. We are almost done, I promise. In terms of moisturizer, I have a cold weather and a warm weather moisturizer that I used up, and I really loved both of these. This is the Kat Burke Biocorrecting Face Cream. This is from their Complete B range, which is eye-wateringly expensive. This is definitely the most expensive moisturizer that I ever used. It was a fantastic moisturizer. I have nothing bad to say about it. I love the ingredients list. I love the texture. I love that a little goes a long way. I was able to stretch this out and make it last for about 1.5 years, which is great. It's good for 2 years after you open it, which again is great. I would like to try other avenues first before going back to this, but this was a phenomenal moisturizer. Then we have the Avene Hydrant Aqua Gel Cream. This was a really, really great summer moisturizer for me. This is what I used every single morning. Just a very beautiful, supple, watery gel texture, and it really did feel like quenching the thirst of dehydrated summer skin. Has a very light, refreshing scent. I wish that it was unscented, just because if it was unscented, it would just be able to cater to so many more people. Was such a nice product to have under makeup. It just provided the perfect priming, hydrating base for me in the summertime, because it was hydrating, but it didn't give me any extra grease or oil factor. Right now, we're going into fall and winter. I want something that gives me a little bit more moisture. This is something that has been recommended to me numerous times, and a lot of people that have the same skin concerns and skincare preferences as I do seem to really love this moisturizer. So it was time to finally check it out, and it's the Drunk Elephant Protein Moisturizer. Love the packaging. It's like the Kate Somerville moisturizers, where you just press down and it comes up at the top. There's no scent to it, and the texture really is perfect. It's that perfect in between a lightweight lotion and a rich moisturizer. It really, really feels super nourishing on my skin. I start applying the bulk of it on my cheeks, which is where I'm the driest. For eye cream, I used up my Bioderma eye cream. I was using the Bioderma SensiBio Eye Contour Gel in the summertime. Despite the name, it's not really a gel. I would more liken this to a lotion. It just did the job, you know. Depuffing, soothing, moisturizing. It didn't promise you the moon. But right now, again, fall and winter, I want something a little bit richer, and I also want to introduce some peptides and some active ingredients in there, and this has been very, very nice. So this is what I'm using right now, morning and night. It's the SkinCeuticals AGE Eye Complex. It's rich, but not greasy. It does not leave any greasy residue. It completely absorbs. I'm really enjoying this. I have not been using it for so long to say that I've noticed a difference in my fine lines or anything like that, but in terms of the texture and just the overall feeling that I get when I apply this, I'm really enjoying it. Let's talk about sunscreen. So these are the 2 sunscreens that I used up recently. I also used up my Australian sunscreen, the Mecca, oh my god, what was it called? The Mecca SPF 50 to Save Face. I think that's what it was called. I used that up while I was in Italy, so I didn't bring back the empty tube. But I also used up the Tatcha Silken Pore Perfecting Sunscreen. This is probably my 3rd bottle of this. This is another great sunscreen product to use if you're somebody that wears makeup and if you're somebody with oily skin. This has great oil control capabilities, and it wears beautifully under makeup. On the other end of the spectrum, for my drier skin gals, this will be really nice. It's kind of like a moisturizer and sunscreen hybrid. It's the Indeed Labs Indefense 30. I really enjoyed this. I like the packaging too, because it is quite travel friendly. So if you're somebody that travels a lot in the wintertime, this is great to just kind of have in your bag. Both of these are combination sunscreen, so there's physical and chemical filters in them. Right now I'm using this, which I also really love. So this has been a good year for me for sunscreen, because after having gone so many years not happy with a lot of sunscreens that I was trying, this has been the year that I found really great sunscreens, and this is one of them as well. This is the best physical sunscreen that I've ever used, and it's something that I would happily repurchase again. But it's SPF 50, it's 100% mineral sunscreen, and it has a bit of a tint to it, but it doesn't have any coverage. So it just has enough tint to make sure that there's no white cast left behind. And when you first apply it, it looks like it will leave an oily residue. It almost has a bit of like a dry oil texture on the skin. If you just apply it and give it a few minutes to dry down, you will not have a greasy texture or a greasy look on your skin. It will definitely settle down. In terms of the way that it wears under makeup, this works well with sheer coverage products. When I try to use this underneath a more mattifying full coverage foundation, I do find that I get a lot more dry patches at the end of the day. So I would either have to mitigate that with a hydrating primer or just skip the sunscreen altogether and only use those formulas if I'm going out at night. And we have arrived at the end of this video. My mouth is dry, I'm thirsty. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will be filming a part 2 sharing with you some like face masks, hair care, and makeup empties that I've had recently. So make sure you stay tuned for that. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thanks again for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!